An interview, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, Democrat Congressman Adam Schiff, said it would be, quote, problematic if Democrats, in fact, colluded with Ukraine during the election. But, of course, he tried to downplay the comparison when talking about possible Russia collusion. Here with reaction, one of President Trump's attorneys, he's the chief counsel for the American Center for Law and Justice, Jay Sekulow. What's fascinating about this, and by the way, you did the 5 Sunday shows. You have my sympathies, appreciation, and apologies. I don't think anybody should have to suffer through all. Oh,
it was great.
Of that.
It was like arguing a Supreme Court case every 15 minutes. It was fine.
Every 15 minutes. You do it in rapid succession. People don't know that. All right, so you did the 5 Sunday shows. Yeah. You were able, I think in 4 of the 5, you brought up the Ukrainian issue, which there's far more evidence of. And even now, Adam Schiff is forced to cover it because it's worse, isn't it, than anything that has been alleged about Trump.
Well, what does it establish? I mean, this is what I've been arguing on the Sunday shows and what I've been talking about for a week. So you have this transaction going on with the Ukrainians and the operatives from the DNC. It was a major report in Politico, and now, 6 months later, they've got these tepid denials. But 6 months ago when it came out, not so much, right? So the president today, this morning, sends out a statement on Twitter that political campaigns would have taken opposition research. Well, political campaigns do take opposition research. And there's a perfect example of it. I mean, and not only was it opposition research, but there were setups regarding media questions to be asked to go after then the Republican nominee for president, Donald Trump, to go after his political campaign operation. So when you look at what was actually going on, it's much deeper, right?
And Chalupa finally, it wasn't today, it was Friday. She gives this statement to CNN. She won't respond to us. But otherwise, she lets the article go the whole time. From what I've seen, I've saw no other quotes from her. We're begging her to come on this program. And then you got the Uranium One deal. Then you got the phony dossier where Fusion GPS funding this thing. And it cites Russian operatives with false information. In all of these cases, I can make a strong argument of Russia-Democrat collusion, helping Hillary Clinton collusion. Can you?
Well, I mean, you look at the Fusion GPS situation. I mean, there you have, and this is, you've covered this, but most outlets are ignoring this. The individual that was involved in the meeting with Donald Trump Jr., the lawyer from Russia, worked with Fusion GPS and the law firm that was affiliated with it on various matters, including the whole Majinsky Act. And remember, when it was discussed about that the substance of the meeting was about adoption, that was in fact what the substance of the meeting ended up being about. So the reality is they may have said it was going to be opposition research, but it ends up being this Majinsky Act and the whole issue of Russian adoption, which wasn't even a campaign issue. But take it a step further. Where does draw the lines here? It's not very difficult to see what this is. Everybody's ignoring the fact that this is, politics is a rough and tumble sport. That's the nature of living in a constitutional republic. So for all this, angst that's going on right now, look at what really happens in the real world, and you see this kind of joust going on all the time. Yep.
Look, I expect the establishment to destroy Trump media. I have no expectations. They're 24 hours a day. It's the same nonsense. And it's only we're forcing this story because the facts are so damning. But now they've opened up the door. Now we've got the dossier. Now you got Ukraine. And now the Uranium One deal takes on far more importance than ever before if they really care about the truth, if they really care about other countries' outside influence of our elections. So where are the Republicans demanding and setting up hearings, subpoenas, influencing asking these people questions under oath?
Well, here's the reality. Those issues, as you just laid them out, should be part of what's going on in not only in the political discussion, but in the political world we actually live in. So here's what you've got. You've got political operatives that are, operating in the world as they'd like it to be rather than the world as it is. And facts are facts. And, in the law, when the facts are bad, you argue the law. When the law's bad, you argue the facts. I mean, there's all these adages. But here's the reality. When you look at the facts here of what you've just outlined, and which's been on the record for over 6 months now, ask yourself why it's not getting the right coverage or why it's not getting coverage. And here's what it is. As on so many issues, it doesn't fit into the narrative. It doesn't fit into the real narrative. You could go back and look at what was going on during the Iran negotiations, the so-called negotiations with Iran and this, reset with the Russians, and all of these issues. It doesn't fit into a narrative, therefore it's not covered. Fortunately, you're covering it, but the reality is that if it doesn't fit into a particular narrative of the media, and look, I did, as you said, Sean, I did 5 of them yesterday. And it was amazing to me to see both the inconsistency and the consistency of what they're trying to get you to say versus what you're actually saying and what's the real issue. So what are the real issues here? Are the American people seeing through and understanding that facts are facts? And you know what? I think the American people really do get it much more than what goes on inside the Beltway.
I'm glad to see that the alt-left media, the destroy Trump establishment media, that now is going to have to deal with these issues whether they want to or not. That's a little progress. We're going to keep pounding it till they get it right. Jay Sekulow, thank you for being with us. And up next on this busy, breaking Monday news edition of Hannity.
He's nothing but a con artist and a liar, and he's not a businessman.
All right, this past weekend, liberal anti-Trump protesters gathered in multiple cities across the country. Most don't even know why they were protesting, and we have the proof. And the turnout is pretty